explain. All right, this next section is exponential rules of fractions level 2, and we're just going to have to select the proper multiple choice selection, whatever the word is. Okay, so when you have it being divided, you're just going to subtract top minus bottom. So inside of our parentheses, we have p to the power of top exponent minus bottom exponent. So -2 minus -7, all of this is still to the power of 3/10. Okay, so when you're subtracting a negative, it's really adding the positive. So we have p to the power of -2 plus 7. So -2 plus 7 is going to be +5. So then this is still to the power of 3/10. So we have p to the power 5 times, or 3 to the power 5 to the power of 3/10. So what are we going to do with these two exponents? I don't know how my arrow turned out like that, but we're going to multiply these two exponents. So I'll just use that weird line as part of my equal sign. P to the power of 5 times 3/10. So when you're multiplying a number times a fraction, you can think of it as two fractions being multiplied. So it's really 5/1 times 3/10. We can do some cross simplification first if we like, or we can simplify later. It's up to us. Let's simplify now. So we have 5 and 10. These get to simplify because 5 divided by 10, this can cancel into a 1, and the 10 can cancel into a 2. So 5/10 is really 1/2. Then now that we've simplified that part, we can just multiply straight across. So 1 times 3 on the top is going to be 3. 1 times 2 on the bottom is going to be 2. So now we have p to the power of 3/2. Okay, before I convert it into radical form, does anybody have a question up until here? I'm going to pause the video to give you guys a chance. Okay, let's continue then. So we have p to the power of 3/2. So we're going to convert this to radical form. So I'm going to write a radical. This p, the base, is just going to go inside the radical. And the number on the bottom, this 2, that's going to mean it's a square root. So that's the radical portion. And then the numerator of our exponent, this 3, just stays as the exponent for p. So we have the square root of p cubed, which is this one. I know it doesn't have a 2 here, but just the plain old square root is a second root. So we don't always have to write the 2, but it just means it's a square root. Okay, so it's going to be the first option in this example. Are there any questions? I'll pause the video to give you guys a chance again. Let's go ahead and select that answer choice. Let's go to the next problem. Select the equivalent expression. Okay, so it's kind of like going the other way. Let's first deal with the inside, this part. So we have the 26th root of n to the power of. When you have n to the power of 8 divided by n to the power of -5, remember that you can subtract top minus bottom exponents. So we have 8 minus -5. Sorry, I'm trying to zoom out and then I ended up drawing a squiggle. There we go. So equals 26th root of n to the power of 8 minus -5 is 8 plus 5. So when you're subtracting a negative, you're adding the positive. So 8 plus 5 will be 13. Okay. So now that we've simplified the inside of a radical, it looks like we want to turn it into exponential form. So it's kind of like the reverse of what we did in the last problem. We want to turn it from radical into exponential. So to turn it into exponential, the thing inside your radical is just your base, so it's n. And the 13, the exponent inside the radical, gets to become the numerator. And the denominator of our fraction in the exponent is going to be the nth root. So, well, I shouldn't say nth this time because we have an n here. It's going to be the radical number. So we have a 26th root, then it's going to be over 26. So it's n to the power of 13 over 26. However, we don't see that in our answer choices here. That's because we need to simplify it. Like we haven't simplified yet. So this is n to the power of 13 over 26. Well, both of those are divisible by 13. So if I divide by 13 on the top and bottom, I'm going to get 13 divided by 13 is 1. 26 divided by 13 is 2. So we have this one. Okay, I'm going to pause here and see if you guys have any questions. All right, let's go ahead and select n to the power of 1/2. Okay, let's do another one. Cool, so we have a radical, the 9th root of x to the power of -2 times x to the power of 5. So remember when these x pieces are being multiplied, we're going to add the exponents. So we have the 9th root of x to the power of -2 plus 5. So we're going to add up those exponents. And so when you add it up, x to the power of -2 plus 5 is x to the power of 3. So we have the 9th root of x cubed. 9th root of x cubed. However, we don't see that here, so we need to turn it into exponential form. So in order to turn this into exponential form, you keep the x as your base. The exponent that it used to have, that still is part of your new exponent as the numerator. And then the denominator of your exponent is going to be the root number. So we have the 9th root, then we have 9 as your denominator of your exponent. X to the power of 3/9. Of course, this is not simplified yet, so we need to simplify it now. X to the power of, how do we simplify 3/9? Well, they're both divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. We have x to the power of 1/3. Why are all my answer choices in the top left corner? I don't know, but x to the power of positive 1/3. Are there any questions on this one? I'll pause the video to give you guys a chance to answer or to ask. All right, let's do another section then. So I'm going to stop the video.